Apparently there are alien bodies found, so that's what's it.
Do you think me a fool? Do you really think there would be groundbreaking new alien information and I wouldn't know about it? Ridiculous. I stay at the forefront of all alien developments. I love alien shit. Last night,
I
there
mean,
was a
who
surprise
doesn't?
broadcast from Mexican Congress where they presented supposed alien corpses. And you bet your shit
Okay,
that I was glued to it. Now, I want to start by laying out the foundation here.
that's
I'm going
pretty
to give you
good.
all of the eating utensils before feeding you the meal. Basically, what happened is
Oh,
there
the
is a
multiple.
individual by the name of Jaime Musan, and he claimed that he had 1,000-year-old alien bodies that he presented at Mexican Congress. There's a lot of confusion around this situation right now. People are misled into believing that this was the Mexican government coming forward and just dropping this hot potato on everyone out of nowhere.
He's 1,000 years old, and
That's not the case. This is from an individual, Jaime Musan, who is a UFOologist and researcher, and he is presenting all of it. And this isn't even his first time doing it. In 2017, he presented yet another mummified alien corpse, not human, but it was later debunked and proven to not be alien at all. So he has done this before, but this time around he's presenting new corpses and also claiming that there's been extensive research, studies, tests, and scientists working on it to confirm that these are 100% real, authentic,
you just loot the mummies and tell them it's alien.
terrestrial visitors. Now, he and his team are saying that all of this information is available for any scientists around the world to confirm their findings, which I think is great. Inviting research into these is fantastic, and I guess we can finally know for certain if he's being truthful here, and these are somehow actually alien bodies. I guess they came down to Earth for fucking
Just do the carbon dating and
break and just they lost control of themselves, maybe drank too much and died of liver failure. I have no fucking clue. But we have these corpses from 1,000 years ago. He's claiming these are mummified aliens and has a bunch of tests allegedly that they've run on them and is inviting the rest of the world to do the same. So I'm excited to see if the rest of the world does that and if they also confirm all of these findings. But now let's get into talking about the aliens themselves, and then I want to bring on an expert, my father. You all know my father is on the cutting edge of everything alien related. If anyone's going to have an eye to see through the bullshit, it's going to be old Papa Charles, I'll tell you right now. Oh, it's a little carcass. I couldn't even tell.
oh,
I don't believe that at all. This is way too stereotypical alien look. I think there is no way. I think there's absolutely no fucking shot.
it's a
I just
prop
don't
from
believe that.
ET.
If this looked actually less like all of the movies depict aliens, I'd be far more on the side of possibly. But this actually just looks like a prop from like Arrival, or not Arrival. What's the Oh my god, what is the one that has the really quintessential grays from back in the day? I can't remember now. They even made like little postcards for him. Like, you're invited. Okay, pretty cool. It'd be wild if these were real and
What
our
are these
pictures
three
were spot on. That would be
eggs?
crazy. That would be big. But I don't see why they would bother faking this. I don't see what the gain is other than like a good joke. Humano? No humano. I understand that.
Oh,
You know, aliens are like
thanks.
insects. I think they'd be insectoid as well. Your father would disagree. I don't think he'd believe this. This looks very silly. And especially just to drop it cold turkey out of nowhere on a YouTube stream. Well, I guess it was more than a YouTube stream. This just happens to be one of the places it was broadcast. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So they put it into a database that is able to be accessed by anyone to verify their claims. They show a list of tests that have been done to the bodies, including metallurgy specialists, radiologists, and geneticists. They verified the authenticity
there
of
is
the
some
bodies.
testing.
Scans of their insides that showed metal implants in some of them, as well as eggs with embryos and organic material inside of them. Okay, well, if anyone can access it, it should be super easy for every other scientist in the world to start running tests on it, then to confirm it. That should be an easy slam dunk then if it's real. Oh, it's a 43 gig file. Holy shit. Well, if it's all there, then put it in the labs of the brightest scientists in the world. They'd all want to get a piece of that action, I imagine.
Oh, there is a lot. Jeez.
We could win the alien war if they actually look like that.
We'll actually break the computer.
But their tech to get here must be nuts. So now let's go ahead and break down what we've seen here. Judging from the bodies, they're not that large. They're not, like, imposing in stature. I actually feel confident that I could beat them in a fight, whereas normally the only age group I'm comfortable at beating in hand-to-hand combat is ages 12 and below. I feel like there's just not many children that would beat me in pugilistic combat, and I feel the same for this alien race if they're all about that same size. And who's to say that these aren't like their elite warriors and the normal aliens could be even smaller? Like, I feel like I'd have no problem just wiping the fucking floor with them, just feeding them knuckle sandwiches out the wazoo. So that's nice. That makes me feel a lot more confident should this be
What
real
if they have
and they all look like
powers?
that. I feel like we'd have a really good chance if it came to, like, fighting them with our bare hands. Now, apparently one of the aliens also had eggs inside of it, so I guess it was pregnant. Maybe it's possible we could dust the cobwebs off and hatch those puppies ourselves. That would be pretty wild. But now, anyway, you've heard from the dumb Neanderthal, Charles White Jr. Well, let's hear from the preeminent expert in alien research, Charles White Sr.
Yeah, learn how less
I
air.
don't necessarily believe this, but I'm going to withhold full judgment for the rest of the world's scientific studies on these bodies. Hopefully those results in those studies will be conducted soon. Let's see what my dad had to say. Hey.
What's up?
You look at the alien corpses?
No. Where's that?
How have you not seen them yet? Go look at them right now and tell me what you think.
I'm working on the top fuel dragster.
Well, the top fuel dragster can wait. You got to see the alien corpses. I need an expert's opinion.
Why are you there? What does one make fun of me?
I'm not making fun of you. I just want to know what you think about it.
Expert
So where do you think they
opinion.
got these things from?
The Nazca lines, they claim they're 1,000 years old.
Well, I know all about the Nazca lines.
Yeah, I knew you would.
They look awful small. I mean, I don't. There's to me, it looks like a fucking paper mache rock or something.
So, you don't think it's real alien evidence?
I don't think it's real. I mean, not to me. That's not real alien evidence. That could be any video. Hell, I could build that myself. That was the paper mache.
Okay. All right. So this one does not have your stamp of approval as legitimate.
No. But all the other shit the world does, like all the construction and all the other stuff. I mean, this is like, I don't know. This This is too phony to me.
All right, so it's not as convincing to you as Puma Punku and all that.
Fuck no, not even close.
Okay, well, you heard it here first. If my
That's
dad doesn't believe it's
disappointing.
real alien evidence, then dag nabbit, it's just not real alien evidence at the end of the day. So he's not super convinced of it. He's, of course, going to keep his finger on the pulse, as will I. Since they are inviting the rest of the world to study these mummified remains, I'm hoping that we'll get some conclusive yeses or nos on if it's
There's
actually
more
the rest of the
information
world or
on
not.
this
I feel like it
topic.
shouldn't be super hard to prove if it's a fucking alien. It's something
We
that we've
listen
never
to the
seen
video
before.
and
Even
let's
if it's
watch
kind of
this.
easy if it's all real, but we'll wait and see. Either way, it was still just a wild development from out of nowhere, so definitely wanted to talk about it. That's really about it.
So there's more information.
What an
This is
incredible day for father-son bonding between me and my dad. With all of the alien information that's come to light today, with the Mexican Congress broadcasting some alien corpses, supposedly, my dad and I have been going back and forth spitballing, and I've been doing a deep dive into the most rancid underbelly the internet has to offer when it comes to alien information. Sometimes when you stare too long into the abyss
Deep
stares
down.
back into you. I'll tell you what, sports fans, if there are aliens out there, I'm on their watch list for how deep I've gone. I'm on their ass like a hemorrhoid right now. I'm having a close encounter with a third kind. You might see my eyes roll back into my skull and have me levitating on the chair here in a moment. Point is, I have found some very intriguing information in regards to these alien bodies. But let me bring you up to speed just in case you don't know what I'm talking about. I posted a video earlier today going over the whole situation. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it by now, but I'm just going to give you the cliff notes, bring you up to speed on the lore with what's going on. Last night, an individual named Jaime Musan had brought some supposed alien bodies into Mexican Congress, and this was
I
broadcast to
even
the entire
want
world. He was
to.
making claims that these are authentic extraterrestrials, and he had a ton of tests to prove it. All the tests and all the information is public, and he invited anyone else in the world to come into the Thunderdome and analyze the alien bodies to confirm and verify that these are the real deal. Unfortunately, these aliens don't have three massive hunkers. They're not goth, big-titted alien babes. They are little goofballs. These tiny little goobers
It's
are being shown
disappointing.
in Congress, and he's bringing up a ton of pictures as well as data and saying that they were found at the Nazca Lines. They're about 1,000 years old, and they are actual aliens. Now, a little background on Jaime Musan. He is a UFOologist and a journalist. His main profession is journalism, and this is not the first time he's done this. He also had another mummified remain that he called an alien back in 2017. It was debunked, and this one here is taking the world by storm because a lot of people believe the Mexican government is the ones revealing this. They're breaking the magician's code and they're showcasing real aliens. When that's not the real story here. It is Jaime Musan and his team that's presenting this. It's not the Mexican government. It's become widespread confusion. Basically, they platformed him and he presented, not an official endorsement from the Mexican government, at least not as far as I understand here. So, now that you're brought up to speed, what have I found? What new information could have possibly come to light in only 12 hours? Well, this is going to open your third eye here. Get ready to activate your Sharingan because the truth's coming in hot. It turns out these alien bodies aren't new. In fact, these were debunked in 2021. There's a really great video that goes over exactly what these are. And according to this, they're not aliens. Now, before getting into the video, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, what about all of the tests? And those haven't been faked or fraudulent or anything like that. So again, if the rest of the world truly does have access to this information and are invited out to actually study these mummified remains and conclude that they are real and authentic, that'd be amazing. Nobody wants them to be real aliens more than me and my dad. But it's just hard to really believe that because there are so many things working against it. I've seen a lot of cope in the community about why they look so stereotypically alien, like the movie depictions, and what they keep defaulting to is saying that people that worked on the movie sets modeled their alien design after real alien encounters and paintings from back in the day, or they'd actually seen aliens like fucking Area 51 or something, so they made
Yeah, I told you it was a pro.
and the effects will look like that, so it'd be warming us up to what real aliens look like. And to me, that's just a load of baloney. We're teetering on Tumblr fanfic with that reach. I would like to ask you, what's more likely? That, or that whoever had these mummified remains modeled them after our perception of aliens from movies? It becomes even more likely that that's the case when you consider where it comes from. The source here, Jaime Musan, whom is regarded by some as a hoaxer, who has had similar things in the past be proven completely wrong. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fucking please stop fooling me. You're making me feel dumb. It's, you know, again, nothing's been 100% confirmed here, but I would just like to present to you the evidence here from 2021 with these bodies that suggest it's not actually alien remains.
Now let's study the X-rays of the small mummies. Ufologists go as far as calling them humanoid reptiles. So what do we see? Same stuff. A hodgepodge of human and animal
A
bones.
The channel is called
reptile.
Scientists Against Myths, and they tackled this alien mummified remain phenomenon all the way back in 2021. They even used some of the same pictures that were presented to Mexican Congress last night. So I do believe these are the same mummified remains. I don't think there's any wiggle room to make a real argument that what's being analyzed by this channel is different than what was presented last night. I think it's pretty clear that these are the same.
Here's a mummy named Josephine. A real beauty. Instead of humerus, she sports femurs, or thigh bones. Her legs are even more baffling.
Immediately the question needs to be asked, if this is a real extraterrestrial body, why does it have the same bones us cringe-ass humans have? What are the odds that these aliens would evolve down a similar path we did and have the same bones we did, just in a different order and arrangement? That seems highly unlikely, but let's go ahead and paddle around in the kiddie pool of fantasy and assume that all intelligent life in the universe evolves down similar paths, so every single fucking life form out there in the cosmos has all of the exact same bones we do. Well, in that case, this species got fucked hard in the ass by evolution, because with the way these bones are arranged, it wouldn't even be able to move. They need some kind of evolution patched DLC update here, like a hotfix, because these aliens wouldn't be able to even take a single step.
One of the thigh bones is actually a femur, only facing the wrong way around, while the other one is a tibia. And they're completely mismatched. With the hip bone, there's no joint there at all. A humanoid wouldn't have made
They
sense.
can move.
Some of the bones are simply chopped off.
So even if you go ahead and write off the
Nice.
coincidence that the aliens have the same bones we do, how could you possibly write off that the way their structure is set up would mean they can't move? Evolution doesn't really work that way. It wouldn't have made it this far if that were the case. And it's getting me gassy, so I'm just ripping mean ass right now. All of this alien stuff has just been so fascinating. And this video says that some of the bones were just chopped off, like kind of just chopped willy-nilly. That wouldn't really happen naturally at all. It suggests that they were made like this, with just an absolute fucking mishmash of different bones going in different places in order to look alien-like.
Note the symmetry here. The fingers are a total mess too. The first pseudophalanges are facing in different directions on her left and right hands, with the white part facing up or down. Well, they just forgot to turn them the right way. Stuff happens.
That's pretty damning. Some of the bones are just facing the wrong way because whoops-a-daisy. And like I mentioned, some of these photos that are in this video from 2 years ago were the same ones that were presented last night. Most notably, the alien with the 3 eggs in their tummy. The pregnant alien carrying triplets. That is in this video. That same X-ray photo was presented last night. So I think we can say with a high level of confidence that all of the information presented for these corpses 2 years ago applies to the corpses shown last night. They are the same. And if that is the case, then a very interesting component of these remains is actually the skull.
French paleontologist Julien Benoit thinks that those who crafted the small humanoid mummies used skulls jaws of some small mammals for their heads, such as a llama or alpaca. Comparison shows
Lamb.
the cavity fits perfectly the cranial cavity of a llama. The skull was then rotated, so its back part faces forward. The reptiloid's face is actually the back of the poor llama's head.
I trimmed this up just a little bit to keep it brief, but they make an extremely strong argument for why this alien skull is actually that of a llama skull. The bulbs, the brain hemisphere, all of it matches up perfectly with a llama skull. The only thing is they cut out and rotated it. And the question then becomes, well, where would they get a llama skull? And the video answers that too. According to one of the historians, back a long time ago, there was actually burials for llamas in the area where these mummified remains were found. So they would have had easy access and readily available llama skulls at the site.
Where could the mummy forgers have gotten a llama skull?
They're just matching humans with
often made llama burials. Here's a fresh report about finding buried
guns and stuff.
Overall, I think this video makes an extremely compelling case for these being forgeries, not actually alien mummified remains or anything. Now, I have seen that the newest presentation here has the bones in the correct alignment in terms of like the ones that were backwards here in the video. Apparently, what might have happened is they recognized the error first off and then just rotated the bones properly. Though it still doesn't fix the underlying issue of why the fuck would an alien have all the same bones we have. Like, there is still just no good explanation for that other than it just being completely fraudulent, really, and that this isn't a real alien remain. But, like I said, I would love for this to be the real deal, completely legitimate. And hopefully soon, scientists from around the world will actually go investigate, either confirm or deny the findings, and conclude once and for all if these are real aliens, or if it truly is just a complete forgery here of some mummified remains. If it is just a bunch of bones from a bunch of different things thrown together into this creature here. So, I guess we'll see. I just wanted to show this to you because I found it to be extremely interesting. And,
Let's pick a video.